Hi, I'm Corey,
And I'm Christine.
and this is Cook's Rod Shop. I just would like to run you guys through what we have done this week. We have doors. You guys that were able to tune in last week would have noticed we didn't have no doors. So we went through and had to rebuild all the hinges, go through, they were really stuck because they were off it for such a long time. The one thing that I will like to run you guys through, because the one way you guys are going to see, exactly how much work goes into one of these is how much decay is on this car, and it is bad. It's worse than I thought it was. Not that I'm surprised, but if you come in a little bit with that, you can see this rocker here has all been stripped, and it is not good. We are going to look at replacing that rocker, replacing some of the floorboards. Someone replaced a little bit of the floorboards in there, and we're going to see if I can go in and splice them, do some bead rolling on some metal and fix it. Or we might just end up cutting it out after I get done. We'll see what happens. We got the back door that someone has done some sheet metal repairs. That's all going to get ripped out. I'm hoping by next week I have all that ripped out. I got to be a little careful on how much I remove and when I remove it. I'm going to put some braces in because, as you guys will see, the doors don't work perfect, but they work pretty darn good. Not bad for throwing them on there. In the back, the wheel wells were in bad shape. I ended up pulling the rest of the interior out this week. Did not realize what I was getting into when I started pulling that off. Had to kind of walk away from the car for a second and think, what the heck was I getting myself into? Once I stopped and thought about it a minute, I thought, well, you know what? Now would be a good time to put some mini tubs in this. That way you can put whatever size tires you want underneath the back. It won't get pro-streeted, but that's why I said mini tubs. So the one good thing is the car's still pretty square, so that is the one thing that I gotta say is nice. I definitely want to reinforce the car before I start cutting out anything because I don't need the car taken off. You can come in here and show them this side is really, really rough. Even Casey wants to see how bad this thing is. A lot of people are going to look at this and wonder, why would I ever attempt to fix this car with how bad the floorboards are? You can get floorboards and all the parts, and don't get me wrong, I probably won't get all of them. I'm not planning on getting all of them unless I get under the car, and I'm sure there's body mounts under there that I'm going to rebuild. I do not plan rockers. Yes, I hope to get rockers for it, or I will be definitely doing a whole lot of metal work. But I would like to show you guys that, and it might be hard to see it, but this is the 54 Chevy pickup that I started cutting apart, and you can see it had no floorboards, no firewall. Part of the cowl was bad, the rockers were bad, and so basically I had just the outside shell. And the one thing good is you're not messing with none of the old rusty metal. It's all been replaced. So, and that truck's been together for quite a while now and is about to get redone again for as getting painted finally. And when I say that, it's going to be a ways out because this is definitely my priority right now between this and the El Camino. I also would like to definitely put out there a thanks. When we put out our video last week, a friend of mine called up and said, hey, I'm on my way over, and he shows up and he brought me some headlight bezels, 5 of them. And come to find out, he went and was at an auction and bought a box of parts, and they were in there. And he doesn't even have a 57 Chevy and decided to hang on to them because he said sooner or later someone would need them. So I thought that was really cool that he found those. The one thing nice now is the whole body is together, so I can start trying to fit up the chrome so I can see what chrome is here and what chrome is still missing. The wife worked at the back windows. There's a lot of overspray and stuff on that. And so she worked at getting the overspray off the windows. The doors were not on it yet when she was doing that, so she has another task coming her way. And then the headliner inside has a whole lot of staples in there. She did work on that this week, and those, I believe, are about 90% out of there. Another thing we are going to be doing this week yet is we are going on a road trip. We are going back to where the car was because he has a few garages full of parts, and he is going to let us go through, and we are going to look around and try to see what we can find that might belong to this car that's not here yet. He also has another motor that's coming with the car, which is an LS. Not sure if I'm going that direction yet or not, but I definitely want to leave my options open on which motor to go with. So we're definitely going that way. Another thing I would like to kind of go over is these are what I use to remove all of the mud off of the rockers. And anyone that would like to strip paint, rust, mud, I highly recommend these. I've been using them now for a couple years, and they really work nice, and they don't heat the metal up too much, and they don't throw much for sparks, so you don't have to be chewing the metal up and making it worse or thinner than what it is already. So they're really nice. I gotta say, sandblasting, if I had the options right now to have it sandblasted, definitely when it comes to rockers, door jambs, floorboards, I would definitely look at sandblasting. Right now, my sandblaster guy believes he needs to be in a warmer climate than I am. So I have to do it the hard way. But once he comes back from being in warmer weather, we will definitely look at sandblasting. We can definitely get enough stripped off of here and cleaned up and replace the metal and get this thing sturdy, because at the end of the day, I definitely don't want to lose where the car is sitting for jam work. That's some of the problem with the 54 is 20 years ago when I did it, I didn't care about the door jams and how the things lined up. It was one of those deals, I was making me a driver, and as long as the doors open and closed, that worked for me. Now I get to go back and fix it, which is okay, because you'll find out the one thing I like is fabrication work. So that's why when it comes to the floorboards in this, it doesn't bother me. The shell is what matters, and am I going to have to go and do some fabrication on the outside of the shell? I'm sure there's hidden secrets all over this car. It's how old now, you know? So, and that's totally okay. But I believe that pretty well rounds up what we've accomplished this week. And I guess I would like to put out there, because sometimes people see these cars and they think they're neat and want to get into it, and they just don't know what goes in the backside of it. I have roughly 15 hours into the things I showed you, and that's not including the wife's time. So it's a very tedious thing, and time just never matters to me because this is where I hang out. This is what I do after work. So the time doesn't matter. This car would never be something that I would ever recommend someone to buy that they said, "Oh, I want to flip it," because at the end of the day, if you put your time into it, you're probably not going to like the amount of money you're making. Me, I build them because I enjoy doing it. And I do appreciate you following us along on this build because I'm excited. The wife's excited because I've got a feeling she's going to be driving the wheels off it when we get this done. So thank you for tuning in this week, and we will definitely keep you up to date on how this is coming along.
Please remember to like, add comments, ask questions, and subscribe to our channel.